Hey guys, so I am doing a response video to Caleb regarding midlife crisis or HRT. I think that you brought up a lot of good processes that you are uh, enduring, both physically, mentally, emotionally, uh, and I think it's a matter of all intel. As you said, that Finn and I both have done videos about mind changing or mindset changes, and it's true. Does it mean that it's totally the HRT? Does it mean that we grow more confident because we're actually being seen for who we really are? We feel like we feel as who we really are, physically, emotionally, mentally. But you brought up uh, two topics, and so it made me think about things. I know that in my life, I lived a gay life because of my sexual orientation and because of my birth gender. Um, so to uh, it forced me to have to challenge the very teachings in my life. I was raised also as a in a Pentecostal setting. We were not in the Pentecostal. We were a Pentecostal assembly. We weren't the dresses all the time, long hair. No, we wore, well, the women wore makeup, cut their hair, but we weren't allowed to wear pants in the church. But I always questioned things even growing up, just as you did. And one of the things I always used to pray about was I didn't understand why I was so different. I never blamed God, and I never thought that He overlooked me. Uh, I I used to pray that I could just wake up and be me, just as you did. But I never really, I would get depressed. I wasn't, I guess maybe just because of my personality. I wasn't one to blame and react to things and go another way in life, if that makes sense. Uh, as I grew older, in my first relationship, we went to church, but we studied the Bible and questioned things a lot. Not sexuality, just things in general. We knew that the deity, the spiritual life, was greater than just in the words of the Bible, that it exceeded than the stories of the Bible and the walls of the church. And I always felt uh, that my life was going to be an example. That although I was handed a life of adversities, I felt that it made my dogs have to start too when I do this. Stop. Uh, I felt that it had a reason. Whether I was going to be a living example for other people and the faith, or whether it was going to make me a better person. Uh, that's how I lived my life. How I look back on it now, and how I've grown over the last 30 plus years. It definitely made me a better person. It definitely made me go out of the box and tear down the walls of the church. in my life. It made me realize that you cannot judge humans and put them in a box. It made me realize that I can't look at people as black and white, and not literally. Uh, that's how I was raised. Things are black and white. They're either or. And you can't, I have found and learned through my life that things are not that way. People ask me all the time, would you live your life over again if you were given a second chance? And I said, and I think about that for a minute, not because I hesitate, but it's how do I want to answer that question? My mom and I sat today and we were talking about it as I fixed her broken pipes in her sprinkler system. And I said, Mom, I would live my life the same way. I made many mistakes. I chose a lot of people, not a lot, but different women in my life that were not healthy for me. But it really made me who I am. It uh, molded me. It carved me. And I think that if a person goes through life and has been given the keys to every facet of life they walk, how do you see a world through those eyes? To me, I would think that that person would just be selfish, self-centered, greedy. Misha, you know, uh, it's you know that's that's how I view my life. No, I don't. I'm not saying that I'm a martyr, but there's got to be people that live different lives other than the norm to open the eyes or pave a way for those who are like them. That's how we have the civil rights movement. That's how we have the all of our discrimination, anti-discrimination laws taken away. Uh, the barriers, the walls in other countries are being affected by a rolling, you know, uh, what the the Obama administration has brought to the LGBTQ community this term has just been a rolling effect to other countries. And it's, Clinton was supposed to do it. He didn't have the cojones. And I just think there's a time and place for everything. And of course, we probably weren't ready back when Clinton was going to do it. Or we might have had Bush come along and tear it down like he did put the DAMA in, or Clinton put the DAMA in, but he tried to amend the Constitution, So, my life spiritually has been molded and carved to believe that nothing is black and white. It's full of color. It's full of every aspects of deities that anybody who wants to believe. People need hope and people need something to believe in. That's what keeps people going. As long as it's healthy, as long as it's good for them, when it becomes where people are dictators and telling you what to do and they back you into a corner and they make you feel guilty for who you are, like they make you feel bad for who you are, and they make you feel that you need to change yourself, that's where it's bad. That's where it's not good, and that's where it's wrong. It doesn't matter you call yourself a Christian. It doesn't matter if you call yourself Wicca, whatever that was you were into. It doesn't matter what deity you believe in, whether it's Buddha or whether it's the natives of all gods, the god of water, god of fire. It doesn't matter. As long as you are good humans, as long as you are productive and positive and you're respectful of other humans, as long as you are growing and you're helping others to grow, as long as you believe in something better and you're reaching for that goal, I think that's what matters in life. And we as humans, those of us, or all of us, should be evolving. And I think this is what this is about. You get things thrown at you, and you either evolve openly, and I think it depends on who you hang out with and who you interact with. You know, I tend to keep people who are more open and have had to have the same kind of life I have, who have been forced to look beyond the walls. Um, I easily, being male now, could fall into that rut of hanging out with the white males my age and stuff, and get to that mentality that we had 50 years ago, where the white males were the supreme race and gender, and have that attitude. But that's not what's happening, and it's not true. uh, there was many races that built this country. uh, you know, it took me until I was in college to learn that Columbus did not find this country. Yeah, that was, and now I just figure I've been lied to about everything. So that brings me into politics. I'm Democratic. Why am I Democratic? Well, I was raised into a home that was Democratic. When I got old enough to figure out what it was about and what the other people were about, I looked at the Republicans as being more of the people that try to hold you in the box in the church. They want to white collar males, um, hold the women down, only give so much leadway and freedoms, but they want to control. Uh, they're in for big money and a lot of things like that. I wanted people who were looking for the people who didn't have a big voice. I wanted people to talk for me. I lived a gay life. I didn't know about anything like you did in transgender at the time. I knew how I felt, but I sure wasn't going to talk to anybody about it, because I figured I'd be shot down and probably put in some kind of program to be electrocuted in the church, and there's no telling what people would have done to me in that day. And that's as early as, you know, five five or so, even earlier. I don't know. My mom says that I never would touch a doll, so it had to be earlier than that. But as far as having to be a United States of America citizen and practice my right to vote, I vote Democratic. Uh, you know, I sometimes on Facebook I mess with people. I have very, very overbearing Republicans in my family who are very young, and you can tell their ignorance by the things they post on Facebook. So sometimes I throw a little media out there myself just to piss them off. But you know what? We, as the simple Americans, really don't know the facts of what's going on in the big picture. I mean, I learned in history that we put people in those third world countries uh, as dictators for our own good. I learned that we're the ones who initially gave Al Qaeda all their weapons years ago and trained them before they ever retaliated on the United States of America. News to me, you know. There's a lot of things we don't know about. So can we sit here and judge each other and get in a fight over who's Democrat, who's Republican, and why? Can we sit and put down the President of the United States, who was voted in by the people, because the Republicans want to run his name through the ground, and let everybody know that because he's black, he's going to get blamed for everything. And we, do you hear the good things? He's done good things, but do we talk about it? No, the Republicans ain't going to want you to hear about it. No. So, as far as political, yeah, it's not really good to bring up stuff, because people base their opinions on other people's talks, and where are the facts? Can you get it from the media? No. Fox News has their own agenda. CNN has their own agenda. Can you believe what's on the TV? No, I don't. Hell, I can't even believe what's in the schools. Look what they taught me about Columbus. It has devastated me that I would be lied to. I try to show my nephews and nieces that in our history, the people that made the most significance in history is the people who were assassinated. You're looking at Johnson was almost assassinated or had a hit on him. You're looking at I think Reagan was tried to be assassinated. You're looking at Kennedy, Lincoln. You're looking at Martin Luther King. You're looking at Bobby Kennedy going after the mafia. You know, lots of people have done good in this nation, but unfortunately, because of what they were doing, have been shot short. So, yeah, it depends to me, Caleb. It depends on, I think, as we get older, who we really hang around with, what mentality they have, how much you listen to the media, how much you are persuaded. Uh, you know, I think in transitioning, we tend to feel more comfortable, so we tend to hang out with a lot more guys and stuff, and guys are very opinionated when it comes to politics and religion. But I didn't mean to say all that about politics. The base question is, have you changed your theory? I have not changed my political stance simply because I'm always going to go for the party that stands up for civil rights, that stands up for the minorities, that is pushing the agenda to make every human equal regardless of their gender identity, their sexual orientation, the color of their skin. You know, as far as spirituality, I thank God that, you know, as hard as it's been in my life and everything I've missed out, I think I'm a more balanced person because I know living in the home in the family I was raised in, had I been born male, I would have had a heck of a lot more issues, and I might have been even that white, racist person because my dad was, and my grandparents were all. Actually, what's sad is my dad was racist, and I never heard my grandparents be racist. My family, from my dad's side of the family, they actually fought for the freedom of slaves. But my dad was racist, but my grandparents were really strict religious people. And I played on the platform of the church. I know how it felt. And had I been recognized a little bit more as male, there's no telling where I would have went with that. Because male privilege now, for me, is just overwhelming of how I'm looked at so much different and treated so much with so much more respect. And it just, I feel like it's unfair, honestly. So give it a little bit of both. It's a little, the HRT has put us here because now we're men in this era and our age. We're pretty balanced. We're not flighty, like you said, with the 20s and the 30s. I mean, we've pretty much settled into our lives and paid our price physically for our work histories and stuff. That's what I think about where I am now. My mind's always going to be changing because it should evolve. So don't get too weirded out. And you may come around to thinking about how you thought about the first place. Alright, guy. You take care. Hope I didn't ramble too much and hope I didn't get off course too much. We'll talk to you later. Bye.